Welcome back to From the Shed and welcome back to the channel. If you are new, if you're watching this after the live stream, make sure you smash the subscribe button. I'm going to say that from the jump, from the very start. Make sure you smash the subscribe button and make sure you like this video before you do anything else. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday, almost a weekend, almost another match day coming up. We got Flamengo tomorrow, 7 p.m. If you're going to be tuning into that, make sure you check out our match preview, which will be out later on tonight as well. So make sure you hit that notification bell. You do not miss that. But there's a lot to get through in the next 30 minutes or so on this live stream. We are going to be talking Mykhailo Mudryk, potential ban up to 4 years. He's been charged by the FA. We're also going to talk about Nicolas Jackson and do we need another striker, as well as Liam Delap coming in this summer, and also Jamie Gittens potentially coming to Chelsea. The door has not been shut on Jamie Gittens, and also Joao Pedro, another one which has been linked, another player that's been linked with Chelsea again in the last couple of days or so. But let's start with the big news that dropped yesterday from Matt Law. Also, The Athletic reported on this. Mykhailo Mudryk. I've been saying it for months and months and months. DPD lost the B sample. They've officially delivered the B sample to the FA. We've now found out that Mykhailo Mudryk has been charged. I'll be honest. I think this is. I personally think that this is. I don't want to say harsh on Mudryk, because obviously we're talking hypotheticals. We don't know the ins and outs. We don't know what's happened. We know that Mudryk tried to do a lie detector test and he passed that. He's got the full support of the club. He's got a really good legal team. It's the same legal team, actually, that was with Paul Pogba. It's the same legal team. So I think for me personally, let's get into it a little bit. Let's dive into the report from The Athletic at the moment. The report currently says here that Mykhailo Mudryk charged by the FA with breach of anti-doping rules, facing lengthy ban. This has been reported by The Athletic. Ben Burrows and Liam Tooney have also been part of the reporting. So it says Chelsea winger Mykhailo Mudryk has been charged with violation of the Football Association's anti-doping rules and is facing a lengthy ban from football. The Ukraine international was provisionally suspended after returning an adverse finding in a routine urine test in December and has not featured for the club since. Mudryk went on to claim he had never knowingly used any banned substances or broken any rules, and said he was working closely with his team to investigate how this could have happened. In the FA statement, they said, "We can confirm that Mykhailo Mudryk has been charged with anti-doping rule violations, alleging the presence and or use of prohibited substances in terms of Regulation 3 and 4 of the FA's anti-doping regulations. As this is an ongoing case, we are not in a position to comment further at this time." Obviously, we know that Mykhailo Mudryk is not part of the Club World Cup squad. He was actually in Poland for the Conference League final. There's a couple of photos. He was walking around a couple of bars, a couple of videos he was caught in where he was celebrating with the fans, or mingling with the fans. But it is Medallium. It's an basically it helps with recovery of blood, I think, if I remember correctly. I read this so it helps with such as low blood flow, as you can see there, to the heart. So it's meant to make you recover faster, basically. And then there we spoke about this a couple of months ago, but yeah, Maria Sharapova was also tested positive for it 2 months later. It was initially banned for 2 years before the courts of aberration for sport later reduced the suspension to 15 months on appeal. Mudryk, 62 million, potential could go up to 100 million from what we're hearing in terms of add-ons and bonuses. He scored 10 goals in 73 appearances for Chelsea. Her last game was against Heidenheim, November the 28th. I'm going to be 110% honest with this story. I actually think there's more to it. Maybe I'm being naive, maybe I'm being stupid, but I think there's a lot more to this story than we're being told, that we're being led to believe. Of course, you have to caveat all of that with when you're a sportsman, whether you're a footballer, boxer, tennis player, golfer, F1 driver, whatever it is, whatever the sport, you're responsible for whatever you put into your body, whether you willingly or unwillingly know what you're taking or you're being advised to take by your dietitians or whatever. You are responsible. Ultimately, the punishment does not go to the dietitian or the whoever who is advising you. It always comes back to the person in question, and that is Mykhailo Mudryk. So I don't think he's willingly taken something that he's not aware of. I don't think he's done that. I think the fact that he's fighting the case, it looks like he's got the backing of his club as well, which is a bit, normally clubs will be quick to get this information out to say that he has been banned or he's been punished or whatever. Chelsea and even the manager, if you remember back, the manager was saying that he was ill, that he wasn't fit enough to play, that he was absent. There was no talk about, ongoing internal stuff that was happening at Chelsea. So I actually don't think Mudryk is possibly guilty. I need to word this properly. He's guilty of what he's been accused of, because it's been clear that the A sample showed there was a banned substance. The B sample has come back and showed there's a substance. What I don't think he's guilty of is willingly taking the banned substance. I don't think he's guilty of that. I think personally, he's taken something by advisory, by a dietitian, or he's been set up. I actually think he might be set up. Now, we know what was going on back in November, December, October, the conflicts, Ukraine and Russia. We know that we used to have a Russian owner. We know that Mykhailo Mudryk is from Ukraine. I'm just saying, there could be layers to this story that we are not understanding, we're not privy to, we don't know what's going on. I'm just saying there could be other things to it. And I'm not saying that warrants him being exempt from a punishment, because, at the end of the day, if it's in the system, it's in the system. How it got there is a completely different story. But if he's unwillingly and he's been tricked into taking something, or there's been a contamination, I think Mudryk is well within his rights to fight the case to whichever highest governing body he needs to go and do that with. If I'm walking down the street and someone injects me with heroin, surely I'm able to fight the case to say, actually, I didn't willingly take heroin. Or someone's contaminated my food with something and it's a drug that I don't want to take. Now, if someone does that to my food and whatever else, and then I'm taking that food and I'm eating it, I haven't willingly taken the drugs. Now, if the drugs end up in my system, I have to be punished for that, because at the end of the day, like I keep saying, you have to be aware of what you're eating and what you're taking in terms of supplements. You have to be aware of that. But he still has a case to fight if he is found to be guilty, but unwillingly took whatever it is that he's in the system. So I don't think Mudryk is guilty, as a lot of Chelsea fans are making out. I'm hearing terminate the contract. I don't think people understand. We're not talking about £10 worth of contract here. We're not talking about a £50 contract. We're talking about hundreds of millions of pounds worth of contract, worth of money that needs to be sorted. This is not something that will be fixed overnight. This is not something that we will see in the next 2 or 3 weeks where it will just be resolved. There's a case to say that Chelsea could actually sue Mykhailo Mudryk, or there's a case to say that he is exempt, or he relinquishes his bonuses that was part of his contract or his deal. We don't know. This is what I mean. It's a lot of speculation with what's going on. But I do think with Mudryk, he's not going to be the first. He's not going to be the last player or the last sports person that this will happen to. This will happen to other people within the sporting world. What I think for Mudryk is, one thing he has going for him is, I think he's been banned so far for 7 months. Now, the FA charge could take another 3, maybe 2-3 months, maybe a month, however long it takes for this to actually, he's only just been charged now. We're almost in July. So if this goes on for another 2-3 months, maybe there has to be a hearing, I don't know, an inquest, whatever it is that the FA need to do now, he's still going to be suspended and banned. So whatever punishment comes, whether it's a 2-year, a 1 year, I mean, if it's a 1 year ban or an 18-month ban, to be honest, he'll have already served the best part of 12 months potentially by the time a decision or an outcome is made by the FA. I mean, they're not the quickest to do things. We're looking at Man City, 115 charges. We still haven't heard anything. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom for Chelsea or for Mykhailo Mudryk. Now, if he gets 18 months and he's already served the 12 of that, or he's served 10 months of his ban, and he gets 18 months, that's only 8 months out. You can get your cruise ships done and be out for 8 months. So I'm not saying he should just be, I'm not saying he should still be part of Chelsea's setup at the club, but I think he should be treated fairly until we actually know the complete facts of what we're talking about. There's a lot of sort of Chelsea fans, as I keep saying, are talking about, let's just get rid of him. You know, he needs to terminate his contract. You can't just terminate someone's contract. Now, maybe you've got a bit more of a bit more legs to terminate or to consider termination or breach of contract. But at the time when we were talking in December and November, you know, he wasn't even found guilty at that point. He's not even been found guilty now. He's been charged. Let's not forget, he's only been charged. He still has an opportunity to fight the case against him to say that actually X, Y, and Z is the reason why this banned substance was in my system. So I don't think until he's officially found guilty, he's been charged. Charged and guilty are completely different things. So until he's officially charged or he's officially guilty, the verdict is in, the outcome by the FA is in. I don't see what Chelsea can do about this. I don't see what Mykhailo Mudryk, apart from fighting the case, can do about this. It's a shame that it's come to this, because I think, you know, we've been, especially on this channel, we've always said Mudryk has. I don't think Mudryk is one of those players that was going to be a main start for us. We haven't really missed him, I don't think. But I would have liked to have seen what he could do in this season coming up now, with the way that he was playing, if you remember, in those Conference League games. And also, we've come into this now with the lack of left-sided wingers. When you think back what we were saying yesterday about, you know, Noni Madueke not performing in the Club World Cup, we look at Tariq George, we're looking now at Jamie Gittens and others to try and come in and fill that void. But Mudryk, this is the perfect opportunity for him to come in. If we lose Nkunku, Sterling and Felix, this would have been the perfect opportunity for Mudryk to try and cement himself, gain himself an opportunity to be a regular starter in the squad. So I actually think there could be ulterior motives as to how that substance ended up in his system. We won't know that until longer down the road. But yeah, I think it's tough on Mudryk, I'll be honest. I really do. I want to know what people think in the chat, whether they think he's guilty, whether he should be banished completely from Chelsea Football Club. There'd be a lot of legalities around, you know, recovering some form of fee. I mean, can we sell him after the ban? Do we keep him till his ban's finished and then try and sell him? Do we cut our losses and say, actually, you know, we'll pay you up X amount and you can go? One good thing about him, he's young. I think he's 22. So whatever ban he gets, whether it is a maximum of 4 years, you know, you're talking a 26, 27-year-old player, of course, you know, he'll have to keep himself fit throughout those 4 years like Pogba had to. There's always a way back. There's always a way back. Whether he willingly or unwillingly knew about it, whether it was a stupidity or naivety, there's always a way back from something like this. So even if he gets a 4-year ban, you know, you're talking about a 26, almost 27-year-old player who has still got many years ahead of him to play football. I just think it's a bit strange. I really do. I think the whole thing is that a B sample, first of all, does not take 6 months to come back, regardless of the scenario. There's no way a B sample would take that long. Your A sample comes up, you're talking maybe 6 weeks maximum for a B sample to come back. So that already is raising a couple of flags for me, because I'm thinking, why would it take 6 months? What possibly have they done within that 6 months that has delayed this for so long, for the outcome of whether he's been charged or not to only be given to us, you know, the 19th of June? That doesn't make any sense. But we'll have to see. I think I personally think he's going to fight the case. He done the lie detector. He passed that. Like I said, he's got a good legal team around him. We'll have to see, man. I don't think it's all. I think there's a bit of political issues in here that we probably are too scared to talk about in public. But if we're being honest, the conflict was going on between Russia and Ukraine at the time. We used to have a Russian owner. We now have a Ukrainian player. Higher ups trying to flex their muscles and show who's boss. I'm just saying. Just saying. But let's move on before we get the channel shut down. Let's talk about something that I kind of touched on yesterday. It's about the fixtures. Now, this is something that I don't think many Chelsea fans, first of all, many Chelsea fans definitely have not thought about what we're about to talk about. And second of all, I don't think many people, when we looked at the fixtures yesterday, realized that Nicolas Jackson will not be part of that game against Crystal Palace because he is still going to be serving the suspension that he picked up back end of last season, which made him miss the Nottingham Forest game. We still will not have Nicolas Jackson, but even to the bigger picture, the African Cup of Nations. We did not talk about that yesterday. Now, the African Cup of Nations will need Nicolas Jackson. He's going to be part of the team that will go over for Senegal, which has been held the African Cup of Nations in Morocco, December 21st, 2025 to the 18th of January. So there's a lot of football that potentially Nicolas Jackson's going to miss. And the reason I say all of this is because for me personally, when we talk about strikers, and I've been saying it for so long on here, I don't think we can go into the season with Nicolas Jackson, Liam Delap, and Mark Gu as our strikers. And the penny drops last night. I was thinking, I'm sure the African Cup of Nations is next year. I was thinking, well, if I was looking down the list thinking, right, no, English player, French player, we're fine. I was going down the list and I was thinking, oh shit, Nicolas Jackson, Senegal, African Cup of Nations, we're going to lose him. So we let me show you. I'll show you. Rather than me talking, I'm going to show you what I mean. Now, these are the games that we spoke about yesterday on the live stream yesterday, about the games that potentially where it's make or break for our season. This is where I look at the league table when we get into that busy Christmas period. And I recall saying yesterday that Newcastle game and the City game are going to be tough games. Absolutely tough games for us. And even the Fulham game on the 7th of January is going to be tough. But I did say yesterday that Newcastle game for me was the tricky one out of that group of games in December. Now, if Nicolas Jackson is selected for Senegal, which I will be surprised, I'd chop my arms off if he's not, he's going to be there. December 12th, first game he'll miss is Newcastle. These are guaranteed. These are bankers. He's missing these 4 games. Regardless of how Senegal progress, this is going to be during the group stages of the AFCON. So he'll miss December 12th, Newcastle away. December 27th. And apparently there's no games on Boxing Day for any club. This is unheard of. It's almost ruined Christmas for me. No Boxing Day football. It's crazy. But December 27th, Aston Villa at home. He will miss that game. December 30th, Bournemouth at home, Stamford Bridge. He's going to miss that game. And the crucial game, the one straight after New Year's Eve, January 3rd, 2026, Man City at the Etihad. Nicolas Jackson will not be there. It goes back to what I said before. I don't think we can go into this season with Nicolas Jackson and Liam Delap and Mark Gu as our strikers next season. We still need an elite striker. We still need someone else to come in. Whether it's a Gittens who is still flirting around with clubs, we need someone because you're talking 4 games minimum. Now, if Senegal progress through the group stages, you can add Fulham, the 3rd round of the FA Cup, and Brentford at home. 2 those. To me personally, that's a lot of football to miss in a busy, crucial part of our season. To only go into that with one clear striker. Mark Gu, I don't think, he may not even be here this summer. He could potentially be loaned out if we bring in another striker. Or you got to factor in injuries, contingencies, suspensions, loads of other things that could happen. If we go into that with Liam Delap and he's suspended for 3 of these games, he gets a red card and he misses, I don't know, Newcastle, Villa, Bournemouth, or he misses Villa, Bournemouth, City. Who's playing up front? There'll be no Nkunku. There'll be no Joao Felix. You may have to put Pedro Neto there, but do you really want to do that again? Do you really want to go through that pain of seeing Pedro Neto, who can play as a number 9? Do you really want to see him do that again? I'll be honest, I don't think I do. I don't think I need to see that. But let me know what you think in the chat. I mean, do we need to go and get another striker? Do we need to go and maybe bring someone else in that can do the job? Do we need to go and get another striker? Because I look at Liam Delap, I like the way he played against who did we play the other day? I can't even remember now. My brain's gone. Club World Cup game. LAFC. But I like the way when he came on, the runs he was making, the way he was holding up the ball, the link-up play with I loved all of that. It made sense. My problem is if we lose Liam Delap to an injury or a suspension, and we lose Nicolas Jackson to the AFCON, which will happen, who's playing up front for us? It goes back to my point. We need to have quality in depth. And I don't mean go and get a bunch of 18-year-olds. I'm talking players that can play in the Premier League, that they've proven that they can play in the Premier League. Now, one player we are heavily linked with in terms of strikers at the moment, which is being reported at the moment by a couple of journalists, but let me show you guys. Is this guy. This is the Chelsea Dodder reporting on this. Chelsea are considering a move for versatile forward in addition to a new winger. And Joao Pedro, a player whom Brighton are open to selling at the right price this summer, is one of the number of targets on their shortlist. And that's come from the Times. We spoke about Joao Pedro a couple of weeks ago on here. I'll be honest, I'm not against it. Is he on my list? Is he top of that list? No, he's not. But is he on that list? 100% yes, he's on that list. Because I think when you get someone like Joao Pedro in who's proven, I like the way he can maneuver in between defenders. He's a good player. He's a very good player. And I think if we bring in Jamie Gittens or we go and get someone else that can play on the left, he's a backup option to Nicolas Jackson going to the AFCON. We can't go into this season. I'm going to keep stressing this until the season kicks off or until we sign someone. We can't go into this season with Mark Gui, Nicolas Jackson, and Liam Delap as our strikers. Heavy rotation is going to be so crucial next season. We have to make sure that when we've got our squad, we can drop a player out and drop a player in, and it doesn't necessarily change the dynamic of how we play football. If we're having to bring players in and we sign in players and it doesn't fit the manager's approach to the game, it's a massive problem for us. It's a massive problem. That's why I think we struggled last season, because some of the players that we've got on the books, Nkunku's, Joao Felix, they don't fit in the manager's way of working. They don't fit in how the manager wants his team to play. Go back and watch the games when Joao Felix was in the team or when Raheem Sterling was in the team. None of those players fit how the manager wants his team to play. This is why I don't think we've seen Cole Palmer on the right. I think the manager has a way he wants his team to play, and he's hell-bent on making sure the team plays his way, and it's the right way. That's how I want it to be. I don't want us as Chelsea fans to see our team swapping and changing tactically week in, week out. Should he be adaptable? 100% yes. But his main way of playing should be nailed down week in, week out. But you should have a plan A, plan B, and a plan C. But plan A should be your go-to for most games. You look at Liverpool. I can tell you how Liverpool are going to set up. You watch them week in, week out. They play this exact same way and they churn out the results. City have done that in the past. When I watch us sometimes, I'm not sure what we're trying to do. And I've been saying this since Graham Potter was at the club. I'm not sure what we're trying to do on the pitch. Maresca's sort of balancing it out a little bit, but there's still a lot of defensive passes back to the goalkeeper, back to the centre halves, rather than progressing the ball forward. And I think when you can get the right players in, someone like Joao Pedro, Jamie Gittens, when you get those players in, they might help you unlock a defence a little bit more. And I'm not saying Joao Felix can't do that, but clearly he's not even in the conversation to stay at this club. So I don't think he'll be here. I don't think we'll see him. I want to know what people's thoughts are on Joao Pedro. Is it a good signing? Is it a signing that you can see making sense? I want to know what you guys think. Um, Seeing a couple of people in here. He isn't needed. Please don't buy Joao Pedro. He's an average player. Why do sporting directors only find players at Brighton? Aren't Gyökeres or Osimhen better than him? I think people, this is a good comment here, actually. I don't think people realize, one, Victor Osimhen, that ship has sailed. We are not getting Victor Osimhen at football club like Chelsea. The wages are too high. It doesn't fit into the structure. Um, again, why find players at Brighton? Let's be honest. Moises Caicedo and Marc Cucurella have actually been two of the better signings out of the 1 point whatever billion we've spent. So I'm not against going to get players from Brighton if the deal makes sense, but I think it's I think it makes sense if we can go and get Joao Pedro. I don't think they'd be asking too much money. Gyökeres, I think, he had an agreement with Sporting to say that he could leave at the end of the summer. Sporting have now said they want more money for him unless he stays at the club. So unless someone goes above and beyond the release clause, which I think is about 60 million euros, it looks like he's staying at the club. I don't know how that's going to work out, but Rodgers or Kudus fit into that profile as well. There's been a lot of links with Rodgers from Villa and Kudus from West Ham as well. So I wouldn't say that this Joao Pedro news is the be all and end all. I think there'll be, you never know, we might actually not sign him. No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not against signing him. It might not happen. Got rich money makers here. Big up legend Joao Pedro. They are very interested in also Kudus they want. The AC Milan goalkeeper hasn't signed a new deal yet. He's not signing a new deal. Mike Maignan does not want to sign a new deal. He's clearly come out and said, he's not signing a deal. He wanted to move before the Club World Cup. There was a gap in valuation between around 3 to 5 million euros between AC and Chelsea. So I think we still get that deal done. If I'm honest, I don't even think that's our priority anymore. I don't think the priority is Mike Maignan. I think, for me personally, I'm looking at our left back situation, which I spoke about on here yesterday. We need to get some cover for Marc Cucurella. We need another striker. We need someone that's going to, and I don't mean, I'm hearing Kudus, I'm hearing Morgan Rodgers. They're not out and out strikers to me. I don't think even Joao Pedro is an out and out striker for me, but I know he can play that role. And he can play in the 9 and he can do better than potentially Mark Gui would do for us in that role. So I think for me, those goalkeeper, do we need another goalkeeper? I'd like to see Penders, but he's 19, so I don't even know where does he fit into that chain of, top, middle, or bottom. He's probably the third choice at the moment. You'd probably say Jurgensen and Sanchez will fight it out for number 1. Mike Maignan, not sure. Not sure. We'll get that deal done, I think, after the Club World Cup. But if we do, I think we need to definitely either just offer what we offered before. I wouldn't increase it because the Club World Cup has gone. We tried to pay a little bit more based on the Club World Cup, and they said no. So yeah, I don't know. But I think for me, Joao Pedro is a good option. I don't know how much he would cost actually. Let's find out how much Joao Pedro would cost. I reckon it'll be cheaper than Gyökeres. I think he'll be a lot cheaper. And if he is, this club's like, oh, okay. 60 million. 60 million. Yeah, forget that. If it's 60 million, you may as well go and get Gyökeres. If we can go above and beyond, I'll be going to. I wouldn't be paying that much for him. I'll be honest. I don't think he's that worthy of the money. I thought he'd be a lot cheaper than that. 60 million. Yeah, he has Premier League experience, versatile attacker, fits the profile we're looking for. Potentially is very high. The best pen kick taker in the world. Wow, it's a big statement. I don't know about that. I do not know about that. I don't know about that, actually. The best penalty taker in the world. What? Joao Pedro? I don't know about that. In the world? Nah, I can't endorse that one. I don't think he's the best penalty taker in the world, but he's definitely fits the profile. And he's definitely one that I think we need to keep an eye on. But 60 million. 60 million, you could go and get the guy from Sweden, bangs and goals. Was it 39 goals in 30 something appearances or something stupid? So I'd go all out to get him. I don't know what his wage structure would be like for Gyökeres, but I look at this Joao Pedro deal. Yeah, they're talking 100 million. This can't be right. This can't be right at all. 100 mil. Let's double check what's going on. So this was before the Club World Cup. So they won. Yeah, we was in for him before the Club World Cup, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not really feeling the price tag of Brighton's asking price for Joao Pedro is 59 million ahead of the summer. So Chelsea aren't too far away with their initial interest. Yeah, we went in for 50 mil, I think, but we were going to offer that much. But I think for that, we could just go and get Gyökeres, go and get him. And look, he's 23. It's not like he's a spring chicken. Don't know. I personally wouldn't be paying that much for him. I don't think he's that good of a player that you go and splash out that much on him. And then in 4 or 5 months, we were all talking about why didn't we go and get Victor Gyökeres, and he was there. Goretzka as well was another one. We could have gone and got him, and we didn't. So I don't know, man. I do not know. But we have to end the stream there. It's been a pleasure as always. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well about what we're going to be discussing later on about our Club World Cup game tomorrow against Flamengo, 7 p.m. We're going to be doing a match preview for that later on, so make sure you tune in for that one. And until then, we'll be back soon. Thank you very much. We'll be back.